All right, now let's take a look at filtering. In Firebase, if you want to filter objects by a given property, you should always order by that property first. So let's say we want to get all the 5-star restaurants. We need to order them by their rating, and then we can use equal to property to apply a filter. So if I want to get 5-star restaurants, I add 5 here. And this has to be a number, not a string, because the value of our rating property is a number. Save. Let's take a look at the result. Okay, look, we only have 3 5-star restaurants. Now, what if we want to get all the restaurants with rating greater than or equal to 3? Instead of equal to, we use start at and set this to 3. So this will return all the restaurants with rating greater than or equal to 3. And if you want to have an upper limit, we can use end at, let's say 4. So this will return all restaurants with rating 3 or 4. Now, similar to sorting, in Firebase, you cannot filter objects by multiple properties. So if that's a requirement, you need to do most of your filtering on the server and the rest on the client. For example, imagine we want to get all the 5-star restaurants in a given city. We can filter restaurants by their city first on the server, bring them all to the client, and pull out the 5-star restaurants on the client. Now, if you're working with a few hundred small objects, this is not too bad. But if you're dealing with large data sets, we don't want to pull down 100,000 objects from the server and then filter them on the client to show only 10 objects to the user. This is very costly. In those situations, we can structure our data in such a way that can be read quickly. We can create another top-level node called Restaurants by City. And below that, we have a node for each city under which we store a copy of our restaurant objects. So if you want to get all the 5-star restaurants in the city of Camberwell, we start our query from this location and then apply a filter to get only 5-star restaurants. Now, with this structure, every time we add, update, or remove a restaurant, we should do it in 2 places. And yes, it is possible to make sure that these modifications are atomic. So when we add a restaurant, it will be added in 2 different places. We're going to look at this later in this section. So what I want you to pay attention to here is that in Firebase, we structure or prepare our data in such a way that it can be read quickly. And this is a major difference between relational and NoSQL databases. In relational databases, we don't think much about our queries ahead of time. We just think about our tables and relationships and apply normalization rules to make sure that we don't have duplicates. In Firebase or NoSQL databases in general, we don't really care about duplicates. Instead, we think about our queries ahead of time. And we structure our data in such a way that these queries can be executed quickly. Now, if our queries change in the future, we need to restructure our data. So we can run a process that would create new nodes based on existing data. And these new nodes would make it easy for us to look up the data we are looking for.